Welcome back to Kentucky Ancestors. Before the break, we learned a bit more about the early horse racing industry in Kentucky. What an amazing world of racing that H.P. McGrath was a part of. So, Elizabeth and Lena, what do you think about this part of Kentucky's history? Are you horse racing fans? Do you even like horses?
Well, we have to be horse racing fans. We're from Kentucky, right?
Right, exactly. And
Yes.
how interesting. So, have either the two of you been to the Kentucky Derby?
Oh, yeah.
I have not.
You have not.
No, but I've been to races, but I have not been to the Kentucky Derby.
Well, in Kentucky, it's like horse racing is synonymous. So no matter where you grow up in the state, people assume, right, that you're a part of it. And now that you think you have a family connection, that makes it even more special, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Excellent. Well, we're going to dive a little bit more. So when McGrath died in 1881 after a long illness in New Jersey, he left a large fortune that was divided by his family. So he never married or had children of his own. Can you imagine that? He had this large fortune and became super famous and never had children of his own. So his farm and his finances were actually split between his sisters-in-law, his African-American employees, and his many nieces and nephews. So the children of his brother Brian, who actually died in an accident at McGrathiana. So I am going to ask you, Lena, to read part of his will. Would you read that highlighted section?
So I give $4,000 to my nephew, Richard A. McGrath, in addition to $2,000 he has already received from me, and $3,000 to my nephew, Thomas A. McGrath, in addition to the $3,000 he has received from me, and $3,000 to my nephew, Fleet Howard, and $1,000 to my nephews, Thomas and John Howard, and my grandnieces.
That's a large sum of money, right? Especially
Yes.
if you equate it to today's dollar, certainly. So according to McGrath's will, he left an average of $5,000 to each of his nieces and nephews. I don't know that I have aunts and uncles that would bestow that much on their nieces and nephews, certainly. And $1,300 to an African-American couple whom he employed in his household. Two of his sisters-in-law received the interest from $5,000 invested in their name. Then, in appreciation for their financial benevolence, his nieces and nephews actually erected a large tombstone to mark his grave in the Lexington Cemetery. So sadly, unfortunately, when we were going through some of that research, we didn't find any mention of Nora's family in Henry's will. But with the families living in the same county during that time, just prior to Henry's change in financial circumstances, the question is it still possible that they are related? So we're going to take a closer look at Nora's family. Her father, Philip, was born in 1827 in Ireland. Nora was born to Philip and Mary McGrath in 1874 in Woodford County. Both of her parents died before she was 8 years old, leaving Nora and her siblings orphaned. So, Lena, will you please read their names?
Yes, it's Kate, Philip, Miles, Augustus, Nicholas, Mary Agnes, Nora, and Timothy.
So with Philip's birthplace listed as being in Ireland, it seems that Philip migrated to the United States sometime during the 1840s, meaning they could very well be a family that moved because of the Irish potato famine, which took place around that time. So when we come back from our break, we'll take a closer look at the immigrant waves that settled in Kentucky and how to track down those ancestors.